As the Coachella Valley continues to grow as an entertainment and cultural empire in the California desert cities, Mutual 111 is your go-to for local and regional arts, literature, music, special events, and theater. From the Mutual Broadcasting System studios in Palm Springs, it's The Desert Scene with Bonnie G.
And welcome to a brand new season of The Desert Scene. So happy to have you with us. And we are welcoming in a new era. Radio 111 is now Mutual 111. So you can get the show on mutual111.com. Also, we're launching a new website, thedesertscene.com. You can also catch the show there. And if you have any feedback or comments, etc., we'd love to hear it. And you can send those to bonnieg@thedesertscene.com. So Mutual 111 is our new radio home. We're really happy to have you. And we're really happy to welcome our very first guest this season, Adam Karstan, who is the artistic director at CV Rep, one of the premier theaters in town. And everybody's kind of kicking off their new season, so he's going to tell us about it. Hi, Adam. How are you?
I'm well, Bonnie. Thank you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely.
Greatly appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So you got a really amazing season lined up, and you're starting off with The Fantastics, a love story reimagined West Coast premiere. So is this a little bit different version of The Fantastics than we're used to?
Yeah, and I'm glad you point that out because it is, which makes it the West Coast premiere. The original version of The Fantastics, which is the longest-running musical. It was the longest-running musical off-Broadway at Sullivan Street, and then when it moved to the Snapple Theater uptown in New York City. It is very well known. And in the story, two young people fall in love. Matt falls in love with Louisa over a wall, and they're manipulated in this love story by their two gardening fathers. Mm-hmm. Well, in the reimagined version, Matt falls in love with Louis over a wall, and they're manipulated by their two gardening mothers. So that's how Tom Jones reimagined the show.
Excellent. And tell us a little bit about, I happen to know some folks, Chip Prince, I believe, is playing piano, your musical director, and you're also having Christian Chalafour, I believe, play a little bit on the harp, correct?
Yes, that is correct, and we're excited about that, which was some of the original orchestrations. And originally, Chip and I thought it might be a little tricky to find a harpist, but it was something the director, Craig Wells, mentioned he thinks will really lend to the production, and we did. And Christian's really wonderful. We're glad to have him. I think that, the story in its simplicity, in its original form, is the beauty of the piece. The modernizing of the issues and the genders and the kind of the concept are going to be what's new. And there's going to be some slight elements and nuances to that. But in many ways, it's just the same love story. Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of it.
And the music is just incredible. I mean, just gorgeous, gorgeous music. So let's talk about the rest of the season. Summer Session with the Bones Brigade. Tell us, I'm not familiar with that at all. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
You're not going to be familiar with it because it's an original premiere of a new work that was discovered through our New Works development program called Origins right here at CV Rep. Okay. And the goal of Origins is to really find the next Broadway show. We are bringing in writers and creative teams from around the country and this last year around the world to take a week and develop their play in a reading format, have a reading with the public. And then at the end of the year, we choose one of those readings and put it into our next season. And this is the first time we're doing it. And the play we selected was Summer Session with the Bones Brigade by Kirby Fields, a New York playwright. And this is about four young men and their two young girlfriends. And they ride skateboards. And they're coming of age, and they deal with real-life issues in Missouri in 1980 that we can all identify with and all parallel. And one of them goes missing. And how they grapple with that and the conflicts of all of that and whether suicide is a result of that.
Wow.
But it's a powerful play, and during the play, they build a half-pipe skateboard ramp. And whether they're going to skate on it or not is something you're going to have to come and find out.
Okay. And then next up in January, Cabaret, the 1998 version. So tell us about that. I don't recall what was unique about the 1998 version.
Well, one of the things that's unique about the 1998 version is it uses some of the new music that Andrew and Ebb included in the film.
Okay.
For example, maybe This Time that Liza Minnelli made so famous. So that's part of the production. But we are also going to reconceive the production in that when you step off the curb and step into CV Rep, you're really going to step right into 1930s, early 30s Berlin, into a Kit Kat club, into the cabaret scene. And as you wind your way through the theater to your seats, you're going to travel through time to see what happened leading up to the late 30s when the play begins. And from there, it will take you on a ride.
Excellent.
And it will really, essentially, the show asks the question, what would you do?
Right.
So we really want to immerse the audience in that feeling, in that time period, to be able to ask that question. We're excited about the energy it's going to create and the experience the audience is going to have.
Yeah. And this next one is fascinating. POTUS, or Behind Every Great Dumbass, are 7 women trying to keep him alive. Okay, I got to hear this story.
So I think the title says it all right there. This is a ridiculous, hysterical comedy that takes place in the Oval Office with 7 women behind the president trying to keep him in office, dealing with his scandals. And it's just gets funnier and funnier and funnier as you go along. And I have to say, I don't think there was any intention that we said it in an election year. Just happened to fall that place in our season.
Okay. Well, it'd be interesting to see what kind of reaction, audience reaction, get to that. And then Nice Work If You Can Get It. Now, is that a musical? Is that a musical?
It is. It's Gershwin, and you're going to hear songs like "Nice Work," "Fascinating Rhythm,"
right.
"Call the Whole Thing Off," "Someone to Watch Over Me." This is a kind of based on the older versions of Gershwin's show with some of his music combined from other shows into a great, hilarious, wonderful, family-filled musical story with big dance numbers.
Yeah.
Which is something that we're going to be able to put on our stage for one of the first times.
Excellent. So tell me, I know this is, is this your third season that you've been with CV Rep? Trying to get it right.
This is my second season.
Okay.
Second season. Last year was my first year, so we're going into the second season. We're excited to be able to present some larger scale shows and create a balance from beginning to end of what you're going to see, whether it's drama, comedy, or family golden age, and something new as well.
And so when you plan a season like this, I mean, I'm guessing that because I know a lot of artistic directors in town, do you have things sort of in the back of your head where you've said, boy, someday I'm going to do this show, that you just have sitting back there and then other things just pop up or people make suggestions? Or what's usually the process for you to put together a season?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a little bit all of the above, everything you mentioned. For me, it's balance. I want to be able to ensure that I'm offering a little bit of something for everyone, but at the same point, I really choose shows based on how they make people feel and on the connection that they have with the characters that are human, that really allow us to recognize some of the qualities in all of us about what makes us human, what makes us feel, and how we're affected by those issues. So I like to find shows that show real live characters going through certain obstacles and how they overcome them. Some of them can be considered controversial at times, but in the essence, at the core, it's always the reality of the fact that these are issues that we as human beings and a human race and society all grapple with and have to learn how to overcome. And they unite us in the end, and that's hopefully the conclusion and the resolution that people have when they walk out. And
I think that's one of the main goals of theater in general, right? Of good theater is you want to make people laugh and cry and think and be entertained, but also, yes, it outlines sort of how we're all so much alike and we're all connected and we all deal ultimately with the same issues in life.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So tell me how would you say you have or are in the process of putting your own stamp on CV Rep now that you're at the helm here?
Well, the biggest thing for me is that I want to continue what Ron had already kind of established in many ways, was the quality of the work. So the quality of what we do and how we do it is something that we always want to be able to reflect on and say, that was good, how can we do better?
Yeah.
That was that finish strong, how can we finish stronger? That is always going to be the core of what we do. What we put on stage at the highest quality level. And you'll see from the very first show, when you look at the cast, that the first three are really Broadway veterans and Broadway stars in their own right.
Yes.
A combined 12 Broadway shows between them. So I like to think that whether it's the summer or the winter months, that this is where Broadway comes to spend the winter. In the summer, this is where Broadway comes to, remind themselves that wherever they live, it's cooler. Yeah. So it's a venue that we believe that we're going to always focus on the quality of what we put on the stage. And the beauty of it is CV Rep is not a very large theater. It only has 200 seats. So it's a very intimate, high-quality experience, and that's what I want to be able to continue. We're also developing new works. That's a new program that I had spoken to Ron about before I came on board that I was eager to pursue, and I think CV Rep has excellent potential for seeing its success in the works that we develop, that we premiere, that will continue on, and will become a hotbed of regional theater organizations that can really create the next new show.
Right.
As well as trying to reinvent our conservatory and our adult classes and youth classes. And CV Rep is trying to pool some of the Broadway talent that we have right here in Coachella Valley. So, for example, you could start taking Terry Ralston's singing class, who's was a Broadway star in her own right, one of the first Sondheim babies, and she teaches a singing class for adults right here in the conservatory that starts next week. So those are the things that we're trying to reinvent to continue and build stronger and better than ever.
And for tickets, anybody who wants to come to some of these amazing shows, you've got such a great season lined up, they can go to www.cvrep.org. And is there a phone number for tickets also?
They certainly can. And if you want, you can call the box office at 760-296-2966. But single tickets are now on sale, so you can go online. So you're going to want to go on the website. The nice thing about going on the website is that you can select the seats for each of the dates and each of the shows that you want to see.
Well, it's such a great, I can't wait. I'm coming to see the Fantastics. Wonderful season you've got lined up. Again, Adam, congratulations for being at the helm now of CV Rep. And we're really looking forward to the season. And thank you so very much for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Bonnie. I really appreciate it, too.
All right. Have a great day. All right. Adam Karstan, Artistic Director of CV Rep. We'll talk to you the next time on The Desert Scene.
Join us again for The Desert Scene with Bonnie G. from Mutual 111. Be sure to visit thedesertscene.com for more show information and mutual111.com for our full library of episodes.